If you're over 60, this might be the most important vegetable you'll ever hear about, because what I'm about to share with you could be the difference between walking with confidence and struggling with every step you take. Now, I know that sounds bold, but stick with me for the next few minutes because there's one vegetable that doctors are now calling a natural mobility miracle, and it's probably sitting in your grocery store right now, ignored by millions of seniors who desperately need it. This vegetable has been scientifically proven to reduce joint inflammation, rebuild cartilage, strengthen muscles, and restore the kind of walking ability you thought you lost forever. The kind of mobility you had back when you were 40 years old. A recent study from the University of East Anglia followed over 2,000 seniors for more than a decade, and what they discovered shocked the entire medical community. Seniors who ate this specific vegetable at least 3 times per week showed a 40% reduction in mobility decline compared to those who didn't. 40%. That's not a small difference. That's life-changing. But here's what makes this even more remarkable. Orthopedic surgeons are now saying this vegetable works on the same biological pathways as some prescription anti-inflammatory medications, except it has 0 side effects, 0 risk of stomach bleeding, 0 kidney damage, just pure natural joint and muscle support. For decades, doctors told us that aging meant inevitable decline, that stiff joints, weak muscles, and shuffling steps were just part of getting older. They told us to accept it, to slow down, to give up the activities we loved. But then something changed. Researchers started looking deeper into why some seniors maintained remarkable mobility well into their 80s and 90s, while others struggled in their 60s. And what they found turned everything we thought we knew about aging upside down. It wasn't genetics. It wasn't luck. It wasn't even how much they exercised, though that certainly helped. The difference came down to specific nutrients that most seniors are severely lacking. Nutrients that directly impact how our joints function, how our muscles rebuild, and how our bodies handle inflammation. And one vegetable contains the perfect combination of these nutrients in concentrations that scientists call extraordinary. This vegetable delivers compounds that work together in a way that no supplement, no medication, and no other food can replicate. The vegetable I'm talking about is broccoli. Yes, simple broccoli. But before you click away thinking you already know everything about broccoli, let me tell you what makes this cruciferous vegetable an absolute powerhouse for senior mobility that most people have no idea about. Here are the 5 scientifically proven ways broccoli transforms your ability to walk, move, and live independently after 60. And I promise you, what you're about to learn will change how you think about this humble vegetable forever. Number 1. Broccoli contains a compound called sulforaphane that acts like a shield for your joints. Now let me explain what sulforaphane actually does inside your body, because this is fascinating. When you eat broccoli, your body converts compounds in the vegetable into sulforaphane. And sulforaphane has a very specific job. It activates something called the NRF2 pathway in your cells. Think of NRF2 as your body's master regulator of inflammation and oxidative stress. As we age, our NRF2 pathway becomes sluggish. It doesn't respond as well to threats, and that's when chronic inflammation takes over. That's when your joints start breaking down faster than your body can repair them. That's when cartilage deteriorates and every step becomes painful. But sulforaphane from broccoli wakes up that NRF2 pathway. It's like flipping a switch that tells your cells to start protecting themselves again. And here's what's remarkable. A study published in the journal Arthritis and Rheumatism showed that sulforaphane specifically targets and protects cartilage cells from the enzymes that break them down. The researchers found that sulforaphane blocked the action of destructive enzymes by up to 86% in laboratory tests, 86% protection for the cushioning in your joints. That's better than many prescription medications. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Sulforaphane doesn't just protect existing cartilage. It actually helps your body produce more of the proteins that build new cartilage. It's not just defense, it's regeneration. Orthopedic specialists at the University of Oxford conducted a groundbreaking trial where they had seniors with knee problems eat broccoli-rich diets for 6 months. The results were stunning. Participants reported significant reductions in pain, improved range of motion, and many were able to reduce or eliminate their pain medications. One 67-year-old woman in the study said she went from barely being able to walk to the mailbox to taking daily walks around her neighborhood. Another participant, a 72-year-old man, reported being able to play with his grandchildren on the floor for the first time in 5 years. But number 2 is where things get really powerful, and this is something most doctors don't even know about yet. Number 2. Broccoli delivers a unique form of vitamin K that directly rebuilds bone strength and prevents the fractures that end independence. This isn't the vitamin K1 you get from lettuce or spinach. This is vitamin K2, specifically a form called menaquinone 4, and broccoli is one of the few vegetables that provides it in meaningful amounts. Here's why this matters so much for your mobility. Vitamin K2 has a very specific job in your body. It takes calcium from your bloodstream and deposits it exactly where it belongs, in your bones and teeth. Without adequate K2, calcium ends up in all the wrong places. It calcifies your arteries, it forms deposits in your soft tissues, but your bones stay weak and brittle. A study from the Framingham Heart Study followed over 800 seniors for 7 years. They found that those with the highest intake of vitamin K2 had a 65% lower risk of hip fractures compared to those with the lowest intake. 65%. That's an enormous protective effect. And hip fractures are not minor events for seniors. Statistics show that within 1 year of a hip fracture, up to 30% of seniors will die from complications. Another 40% will never walk independently again. Preventing fractures isn't just about comfort, it's about survival and independence. But vitamin K2 does something else that's crucial for mobility. It activates a protein called osteocalcin, which is essential for bone formation. Without enough K2, your osteocalcin remains inactive, sitting useless in your bloodstream while your bones become more porous and fragile with every passing month. Japanese researchers discovered that postmenopausal women who supplemented with the same form of K2 found in broccoli experienced a complete halt in bone density loss. Not just a slowing, a complete stop. Some even showed slight improvements in bone density, which doctors previously thought was impossible without medication. And here's the beautiful part. When your bones are strong, everything else about mobility becomes easier. Your posture improves. Your balance stabilizes. Your confidence returns. You stop being afraid of falling. You stop limiting your activities out of fear. But the third way broccoli transforms mobility might be the most overlooked, and it has everything to do with your muscles. Number 3. Broccoli contains compounds that prevent the muscle wasting that makes walking exhausting after 60. This condition is called sarcopenia, and it's one of the biggest threats to senior independence that almost nobody talks about. Starting around age 50, most people lose between 1 and 2% of their muscle mass every single year. By age 70, you could have lost 30% or more of the muscle you had in your 40s. And it's not just about looking weaker, it's about function. When you lose muscle mass, everything becomes harder. Getting up from a chair, climbing stairs, carrying groceries, walking any distance. Your legs fatigue quickly, your stamina disappears, and eventually, you start avoiding activities, which makes the muscle loss even worse. It becomes a devastating downward spiral. But broccoli contains specific compounds that fight this process. The sulforaphane we talked about earlier doesn't just protect joints, It also preserves muscle mass by reducing inflammatory signals that trigger muscle breakdown. A study from the Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia, and Muscle found that sulforaphane-rich foods helped seniors maintain significantly more muscle mass over a 2-year period compared to those who didn't consume these foods regularly. But there's another compound in broccoli that's equally important for muscle health. It's called alpha-lipoic acid, and it acts as a powerful antioxidant that specifically protects muscle cells from age-related damage. As we age, our muscle cells accumulate oxidative damage. Free radicals attack the mitochondria in muscle cells, which are the energy factories that power muscle contractions. When mitochondria become damaged, your muscles literally cannot produce the energy they need to function properly. That's why walking becomes exhausting even when you're not going very far. Alpha-lipoic acid from broccoli enters muscle cells and neutralizes these free radicals before they can cause damage. It's like having a repair crew constantly fixing problems before they become serious. German researchers conducted a fascinating study where they gave seniors alpha-lipoic acid-rich foods for 4 months. The participants showed measurable improvements in walking speed, leg strength, and overall physical function. They didn't start exercising more, they just protected their muscles from the inside out. And here's something most people don't realize. Muscle isn't just about strength, it's about balance. It's about reaction time. It's about being able to catch yourself when you stumble. Strong muscles are what prevent falls. And falls are the #1 cause of injury-related death in people over 65. When you eat broccoli regularly, you're giving your muscles the tools they need to stay strong, responsive, and functional. You're maintaining the foundation of independent living. But number 4 addresses a problem that affects nearly every senior, yet gets blamed on everything except the real cause. Number 4. Broccoli fights the chronic inflammation that makes every movement painful and stiff. Now, I'm not talking about the inflammation you get from an injury. That's acute inflammation, and it's actually helpful. It's part of healing. I'm talking about chronic, systemic inflammation. The kind that simmers quietly in your body day after day, month after month, year after year. The kind that slowly destroys your joints, stiffens your muscles, and makes you feel 20 years older than you are. This chronic inflammation comes from multiple sources: poor diet, stress, environmental toxins, lack of sleep, sedentary lifestyle. And it creates a state where your immune system is constantly activated, constantly releasing inflammatory chemicals into your bloodstream. These inflammatory chemicals attack healthy tissue, they break down cartilage, they damage blood vessels, they interfere with muscle repair, and they create pain signals that make movement feel unbearable. Here's the critical part. Most seniors are walking around with inflammation levels that are 3 to 4 times higher than healthy younger adults, and they have no idea. They just think they're getting old. But they're not just aging, they're inflamed. Broccoli is one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory foods on the planet. It contains multiple compounds that work together to reduce inflammation through different pathways. We've already talked about sulforaphane. But broccoli also contains camphorol, a flavonoid that's been shown to reduce inflammatory markers by up to 48% in clinical studies. It contains quercetin, another powerful anti-inflammatory compound that specifically reduces joint swelling and pain. And it contains indole-3-carbinol, a compound that regulates immune function and prevents the overactive immune response that drives chronic inflammation. A groundbreaking study from Tufts University measured inflammation levels in seniors before and after adding broccoli to their daily diet. After just 8 weeks, participants showed dramatic reductions in C-reactive protein, which is one of the primary markers of systemic inflammation. But more importantly, the participants reported feeling different. They described having less morning stiffness, less pain throughout the day, better mobility, more energy. Several participants said they felt like they'd turned back the clock by 10 years. One 69-year-old participant told researchers that for the first time in a decade, she could garden without her hands swelling up. Another said he could finally sleep through the night without joint pain waking him up. This isn't about managing symptoms. This is about addressing the root cause of age-related mobility decline. And broccoli does it naturally, safely, and effectively. But the fifth benefit might be the most important of all, especially if you want to maintain independence for decades to come. Number 5. Broccoli protects your nervous system and maintains the brain-to-muscle communication that keeps you coordinated and steady. Here's something most people don't understand. Mobility isn't just about strong joints and muscles. It's about your nervous system's ability to coordinate movement, maintain balance, and react quickly when needed. As we age, the nervous system deteriorates. The myelin sheath that insulates nerve fibers breaks down. Neurotransmitter production declines. The communication between your brain and your muscles becomes slower and less reliable. This is why seniors often describe feeling unsteady, why they hesitate before stepping off a curb, why they feel less confident in their movements. It's not weakness, it's neurological decline. But broccoli contains compounds that specifically protect nervous system function. Sulforaphane, which we keep coming back to because it's so important, crosses the blood-brain barrier and protects brain cells from oxidative damage. Research from Johns Hopkins University found that sulforaphane increases the production of heat shock proteins in the brain, which protect neurons from stress and damage. It's like giving your brain cells a shield against aging. Broccoli also provides significant amounts of vitamin B6 and folate, which are essential for neurotransmitter production. These vitamins help your brain produce the chemical signals that tell your muscles when and how to move. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed over 1,000 seniors for 3 years. Those with higher intakes of B vitamins from vegetables like broccoli showed significantly better motor function, faster walking speeds, and better balance compared to those with lower intakes. But there's another aspect of nervous system health that's crucial for mobility. It's called proprioception, which is your body's sense of where it is in space. Proprioception is what allows you to walk without looking at your feet. It's what helps you maintain balance on uneven surfaces. It's what lets you reach for something without missing. As proprioception declines with age, fall risk skyrockets. People become unsteady, uncertain, and afraid to move confidently. But the nutrients in broccoli support the health of proprioceptive nerves and help maintain this critical sense. Australian researchers found that seniors who consumed cruciferous vegetables like broccoli regularly showed measurably better balance and proprioception compared to those who didn't. They performed better on tests of single-leg standing, tandem walking, and reaction time. These might sound like small things, but they're the difference between living with confidence and living with fear. They're the difference between going where you want to go and staying home because you're afraid of falling. Now, here's what you need to know about actually getting these benefits from broccoli. Because not all broccoli is created equal, and how you prepare it makes an enormous difference in how much of these powerful compounds your body actually absorbs. First, you want to look for broccoli that's dark green, with tight florets and firm stalks. The darker the green, the more nutrients it contains. Avoid broccoli that's yellowing or has loose flowering florets. That's a sign it's past its nutritional peak. Second, and this is crucial, do not overcook your broccoli. When you boil broccoli until it's mushy, you destroy up to 90% of the sulforaphane and other beneficial compounds. That's a tragic waste. The best way to prepare broccoli for maximum nutrient retention is to steam it lightly for just 3 to 4 minutes. It should still be bright green and slightly crisp. This preserves the enzymes needed to convert precursor compounds into active sulforaphane. Alternatively, you can eat broccoli raw. Raw broccoli contains even higher levels of the enzyme myrosinase, which is essential for sulforaphane production. You can chop raw broccoli florets into salads or eat them with hummus or your favorite healthy dip. Here's an insider tip that researchers have discovered. If you do cook your broccoli, let it sit chopped for about 10 minutes before cooking. This allows the myrosinase enzyme to start working before heat inactivates it. This simple step can increase sulforaphane availability by up to 3 times. Another powerful strategy is to pair broccoli with foods that contain myrosinase. Mustard is an excellent source. Even a small amount of mustard powder sprinkled on cooked broccoli can restore the enzyme activity and dramatically increase sulforaphane formation. Some people also add broccoli sprouts to their meals. Broccoli sprouts are 3 to 4 day-old broccoli plants, and they contain up to 50 times more sulforaphane precursors than mature broccoli. You can find them in many grocery stores, or you can easily grow them at home. Just a tablespoon of sprouts added to a salad or sandwich provides a powerful nutritional boost. Now, how much broccoli do you need to eat to get these mobility benefits? The research suggests that eating broccoli 3 to 4 times per week is the sweet spot. A serving is about 1 cup of chopped broccoli, which is roughly 1 medium-sized crown. That's completely achievable for most people. You could have steamed broccoli with dinner twice a week, add raw broccoli to a salad once a week, and include it in a stir-fry once a week. Just like that, you've hit your target. Some people worry about the taste. If you've never liked broccoli, here's the thing. The way most people were served broccoli as children, overboiled and mushy, brings out the most bitter, sulfurous flavors. But when you prepare it correctly, lightly steamed or roasted with a touch of olive oil and garlic, broccoli is actually delicious. Roasting broccoli at high heat around 425 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes brings out natural sweetness and creates crispy, caramelized edges that even broccoli skeptics enjoy. Just toss it with a little olive oil, salt, and pepper before roasting. You can also blend steamed broccoli into soups. Add it to pasta dishes. Mix it into egg scrambles. There are countless ways to incorporate broccoli into meals you already enjoy. Now, I want to address something important. Some people can't eat broccoli due to digestive sensitivities, or they're taking blood thinners like warfarin that interact with vitamin K. If that's you, don't worry. You're not completely out of luck. Other cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage contain many of the same beneficial compounds as broccoli, just in slightly different ratios. You can get similar benefits from these vegetables. And if you absolutely cannot eat any cruciferous vegetables, there are sulforaphane supplements available. However, supplements are not as effective as whole food sources because they lack the synergistic combination of compounds that work together in the vegetable itself. But they're better than nothing. If you're on blood thinners, talk to your doctor about your vitamin K intake. You don't necessarily have to avoid vitamin K foods. You just need to keep your intake consistent so your medication can be properly dosed. Many doctors are now encouraging patients on warfarin to eat consistent amounts of vitamin K-rich foods rather than avoiding them entirely. Here's something else that's important to understand. While broccoli is incredibly powerful for mobility, it works best as part of an overall healthy lifestyle. You can't eat broccoli 3 times a week and expect it to overcome a diet filled with processed foods, sugar, and unhealthy fats. The seniors who see the most dramatic improvements in mobility are those who combine broccoli with other anti-inflammatory foods, wild-caught salmon for omega-3 fatty acids, berries for antioxidants, nuts and seeds for healthy fats and minerals, leafy greens for additional vitamins and minerals, olive oil for anti-inflammatory compounds. They're also staying active. You don't need to run marathons. But regular movement is essential. Walking, swimming, gentle strength training, stretching, These activities work synergistically with the nutrients from broccoli to maintain and improve mobility. And they're managing stress, getting adequate sleep, staying hydrated, and avoiding smoking and excessive alcohol. All of these factors influence inflammation levels and overall health. But here's the exciting part. When you start eating broccoli regularly, you often find that other healthy choices become easier. The anti-inflammatory effects give you more energy. The improved mobility motivates you to move more. The better sleep helps you make better food choices. It creates a positive spiral rather than the negative spiral of decline. Many seniors report that adding broccoli to their diet was the catalyst that transformed their entire approach to health. It was the first domino that knocked over all the others in the best possible way. One more critical point. The benefits of broccoli are cumulative. You're not going to eat broccoli once and wake up walking like you're 40. This is about consistent, regular consumption over weeks and months. The seniors in the studies we talked about saw measurable improvements after 8 to 12 weeks of regular broccoli consumption. Some noticed changes sooner, less morning stiffness after a few weeks, better energy after a month, improved walking endurance after 6 weeks. But the most dramatic transformations happened in those who stuck with it for 3 months or longer. That's when joint protection, muscle preservation, and inflammation reduction really compound into noticeable life changes. Think of it this way. Every time you eat broccoli, you're making a deposit into your mobility bank account. Each serving provides compounds that protect and repair. Over time, those deposits add up to significant improvements in how you feel and function. The question is, are you willing to make this simple change that could transform your next 20 or 30 years? Because that's really what we're talking about here. This isn't just about walking better next month. It's about maintaining independence, vitality, and quality of life for decades to come. Imagine being 75 or 80 years old and still walking confidently, traveling, playing with grandchildren, pursuing hobbies, living fully. That's what protecting your mobility now makes possible. The alternative is what we see too often. Seniors in their late 60s and 70s whose mobility has declined so much that they've lost their independence. They can't drive. They can't shop for themselves. They need help with basic daily activities. They've had to give up everything they enjoyed. That doesn't have to be your future. And broccoli is one of the most powerful, accessible, affordable tools you have to prevent that outcome. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 12 weeks, commit to eating broccoli at least 3 times per week. Prepare it the right way. Pair it with other healthy foods. Stay active. And pay attention to how you feel. Notice if your joints feel less stiff in the morning. Notice if walking feels easier. Notice if you have more energy and confidence in your movements. I think you're going to be amazed at the difference this one simple change can make. Your mobility is your freedom, your independence, your quality of life. It's worth protecting with everything you have. And now you know one of nature's most powerful tools for doing exactly that.